name is Dr. Katrin Meidell, and I am professor of viola at the Schwob School of Music at Columbus State University in Columbus, Georgia. I just performed for you the GMEA 9th and 10th grade Etude for 2026-2027. It is titled Cantabile, which means singing. So if I were a judge for this, I would really be listening for beauty of tone, phrasing, and gorgeous vibrato. Obviously, there's also a big component in shifting, especially up into fifth position. One of the other things that this etude is exploring is grace notes and noodly things. So the first thing I would do is take out all those noodles to make sure that you know where the big beats are. Another really important thing to know about these noodles is that they are taking away from the note they are slurred into, not the next note. So, for example, if you look at the grace notes at the end of the very first line, it's really important that your F is still on beat 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So my F is exactly on beat 3. So if I take out those noodles, that's the rhythm that we want to maintain when we add the noodles. So being certain that you know where the next big beat is really important before you start putting in the noodles, because otherwise you can mess up your rhythm. So a great thing to practice here is the third measure is really quite tricky. So we're coming out of third position, we're going into first position, then we're in first position for one note, then we go into third position on the same finger, and then immediately into fifth position, and then we throw in a noodle. So there's a lot going on right there. So the very first thing I would do is make sure that you're comfortable with shifting. Shifting on the same finger is helped by making sure that you're releasing the finger pressure out of the string. So I don't want to see this, but do you see right there, you can see my finger is in the string and my finger is on the string. So between my shifts, you can almost see like an arc shape. So instead of keeping the finger in the string, which is really tight, and you can hear that tightness in the sound as well. So it's harder to see from this side. But you can hear it in the sound that there's almost a little bit of a lightness right as the finger is shifting. And that gets hidden in the bow change right there. But again, I would take out the noodles and practice just those shifts. And a good thing to do also is to practice all your shifts under one slur in both directions. That way you can really hear whether or not you're sliding or whether you're lifting that finger pressure out of the string. You can actually see it also from here. You can see either my finger is in the string or it's on top of the string. Sorry. So it's almost these little arcs that the finger is doing. The bow, however, is staying in the string. So taking out the noodles and really making sure that you know how to get up into fifth position like that will make a really big difference for this whole etude. Making sure that you know what the various symbols mean is also important. So the one that looks like this, kind of almost like an infinity sign, that's a turn. And if we look at the one that's towards the end of the first line of music, so we play the main note, we go up, back down, down one, back, and that's it. That's what the turn is. So making sure you know what's actually happening is really helpful. So the one in measure 3, so it's always that. So making sure you know what that symbol means. Another technical aspect of this etude that isn't huge, but it will make a difference if you pay attention to it, is when we have a big leap. So for example, at the end of our first line, after the turn, we're on the D string, and then we have to go directly to the C string. The harmonic here can actually help us make a nice clean string crossing, because when I'm lifting my bow out of string, the harmonic will keep ringing if I do that correctly. So I want to make sure that I'm following through with the bow. And so I'm actually traveling with the bow above the string. And that makes it sound fairly seamless. So you hardly hear a break there. If I do the same thing 3 lines from the bottom, so you can hear how that's basically seamless. And I'm doing that by letting the harmonic ring and the bow continues moving. The first few times I played through this, I kept wanting to play a wrong note, because in my ear it just sounded better. So to avoid you making the same mistake, in the 3rd line, halfway through when our new phrase starts, just know that we have an E natural. So that's an E natural. I kept wanting to play, but that's not what's on the page. So make sure that you mark that E natural if you are wanting to play a flat like I was. Finally, let's talk about the double stops, a couple of measures from the end. So I want to be careful in here that I'm being very cognizant of releasing finger pressure when I no longer need it. So especially right here. So you can see I'm letting the first finger get out of the way, and I'm releasing the finger pressure as I'm moving. That's kind of tricky. So we can practice just 1 line at a time. So even there, did you hear how there was some lightness? I'm not going. So making sure you're getting that finger pressure out of the string. Or same thing right there. Okay? For more helpful hints, I hope you will join me at Viola Day on Saturday, September 12th, where we will have a workshop on this lovely etude. You can ask me questions and we'll go through all of the things. So sign up, you can register in the link below.